All right, guys, so I am going to give you the rundown on how I meal prep. If you've ever heard me talk about meal prep, you know that I believe there are many different ways you can do it, and you have to find what works for you and is sustainable long term. So I'll share a couple different options, but first I want to go into how I do it because it works for us and it's something that I can sustain long term. So when I've been doing meal prep for probably 7 or 8 years now. In the first few years when I was single and by myself, it looked elaborate. Like I was 5-6 hours every weekend in the kitchen and had everything in containers for every meal. I would do the 6 small meals a day, and it was just very time consuming. So fast forward to having a husband who doesn't want to eat just grilled chicken every week, and then having 2 kids that take up so much of my time and energy, I have adjusted how I meal prep tremendously. So I'm going to share what works for us and maybe give you some insight and give you some tips and things that you can learn from. So what I do for my meal prep is I take about an hour, give or take. Sometimes I can get it as short as 45 minutes and sometimes it's an hour 15 or an hour and a half. But I take that time on the weekend and I prep all of my lunches for the week. So what that looks like, and like I said, I've been doing this for years. I've seen a lot of different fad diets and trends come through. But what I have found sustainable and to see the most results for not only myself, but the hundreds of women I work with is a balance of all 3 macros. So having adequate protein, enough complex, slow digesting carbs, and then healthy fats. So I prep all those 3 things with the focus being on the protein and the complex carbs. So I will typically grill, and I have here, so I did grilled chicken. Actually, this is turkey breast tenderloins. So turkey breast tenderloins only take about 4 to 5 minutes on each side, and I'm going to show you, I have the seasonings I use, I'll show you at the end. So 4 to 5 minutes each side, medium heat. While that's grilling, I also grill the chicken. That is, I buy the organic chicken breast. Chicken's the only thing I buy organic because I can taste such a difference in the ones that aren't. So those I'll cut in half, and those grill about 10 minutes on each side. So those are grilling at the same time. And then this week I did turkey meatballs. So those go in the oven for 20 minutes at 400. And while those are cooking, I'm gonna have that recipe for you. I'm gonna have all these linked in a Pinterest board for you. So turkey meatballs, while those are baking, I also did my vegetables. So this week took me a little over an hour because I chopped all of these. So this is bell pepper, zucchini, squash, and onion. So those bake in the oven 400 for 20 minutes, the same time that the meatballs are baking. My sweet potatoes, this is something I discovered probably within the last few months. Rather than putting them in the oven, they take forever and they sometimes dry out. I do them in the Tupperware, so I'll skin it, chop it in small little pieces. You can see the seasoning on them, but they're relatively small and relatively thin, if you can see that. I'll put just a little bit of water in the bottom, set a lid on it, cover it loosely, and then microwave it for about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how much sweet potato you have. This one I did 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and you can tell like it's really soft, but it's not dried out. So sweet potatoes, brown rice, I grabbed the ones I buy of that because super easy. I put them in the microwave too. So these are, I think it's 1.5 minutes. You just open it, put it in the microwave, and it's done. I like the brown rice quinoa mix, but I couldn't find it this week at the grocery store. So this is just brown rice. So those are 2 complex carbs, 3 different lean proteins, the chicken, turkey tenderloins, turkey meatballs, and then my healthy fat, I did avocado and mashed it into a guacamole. So just a potato masher, some ripe avocado, season it with salt and pepper, chopped a little bit of onion, cilantro, and tomato. So like I said, I'll link all of these in a Pinterest board, but that's it. It took me about, like I said, an hour this week, and all of it's cooking at the same time. So I had, let's see, this in the oven, the meatballs in the oven, while the tenderloins and the chicken were on the grill, and then the sweet potatoes and the brown rice went in the microwave. So if you have done any of my programs or are going to do one of my programs, you would know your portion size, but I'm gonna give you an estimate. Most females are gonna be somewhere around 20 grams of protein, which is about 4 ounces. So that would be all the protein sources. You would have 4 ounces of that, and about 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates per meal. So this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the complex carbs would be like the brown rice or the sweet potato. So you can measure those out. So when I put these in containers, I'm gonna grab that real quick. I will use my food scale. So I have a little small food scale here, turn it on, I'll set the container on it, and it zeroes out. Let's see, and it zeroes out. And then you just put your protein in there. So, and I will keep, well, I don't think it's working because it's on my hand, but I'll keep adding the protein until it says 4 ounces, and that's about 20 grams of protein. So that is, and then I'll add, it's gonna be about 5 ounces of sweet potato to get 25 grams, and then I'll add a vegetable. And then some of my meals will have the brown rice and a different source of protein. So really simple. And then I cook in the evenings. So I have a husband and then 3 kids, and 2 are mine, and I have a stepson. And they like variety. So I will cook throughout the week. This covers me for my lunches, and it's a backup meal because I eat a lot, for one, but I also, some evenings I'll just throw something together, like a frozen dinner. They have those like vegetable noodles with a sauce and like throw some chicken in it, and I'll do that for, on occasion, for my husband and children. And then I have one of these meals in the fridge. But the other nights I cook with variety, and that is in my free recipe book, which you can check out. I do things like steak tacos, or lean enchiladas, or turkey chili, different things like that, just to have more variety so you're not eating the same thing all the time. But I do pretty much prep the same things for lunches just because it's easy, simple, and quick. So hopefully that helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm gonna bring my phone over there real quick to show you the seasonings I use. Really simple. I typically stick to a lower sodium seasoning. That way I can control the sea salt that I use. If you're using a lot of different seasonings that already have salt in them, you'll get a really high intake of salt. So over here, always spray. I'll use the spray when cooking, even like for on the grill, so it doesn't stick. I'll do these on my vegetables, so it's like an actual olive oil, but it's in a spray. Salt and pepper on everything, just light on the salt and then plenty of pepper. This is a no salt seasoning. I buy different ones, just a lower sodium. This is a no salt. Tony's, and then garlic's on almost everything, and then the parsley, just because I like parsley. So you can mix up your seasonings, season as much as you want, so that you enjoy it, and hopefully something in this video helped you. I'm going to attach, like I said, my free recipe book. I have a Pinterest board where it gives you like better instructions than my quick verbal instructions. And if you have anything else or you want help, you can reach out to me. If you're doing my program, your meal prep may look a little different because it's going to be very specific to you. So this is kind of generalized, something you can use after the program, or you can implement now if you're not in it. So hope you find this helpful, and I look forward to hearing back from you.